All right. All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Kinneas, I'm starting early. This is just kind of like a pre-show. The show hasn't really started yet. I'm just getting in here early to get set up. So we have about 5 minutes. Man, these people with their slewing planes. All right, let me show you what's going on. Everybody's staging. The Microsoft community fly-ins are open to anybody, all experience levels, it doesn't matter. And in the forums, they tell you, hey, turn off collisions and turn off other things in case you happen to crash. Use slew to catch up with everybody, and that seems like that's what they're using up there. They're using slew. Down in the corner, I have the Twitch channel open. Don't know that I'm going to be blowing it up too much. Want to do things from my perspective. I also am using Bush Talk Radio. To give us a lot more audio tours as we move on landmarks and points of interest. Seems like they've upgraded the VFR map a little bit. Okay, maybe not. As I pull it up, it doesn't bring up the information it had for me earlier. Hello. Let's try closing it and opening it again. Man, that is one of the things I'm most sad about with Microsoft Flight Simulator, is the VFR map. One of the biggest disappointing features, but it does look like they've, added in better looking names. There's our flight plan. I'm gonna have to make some quick adjustments to getting their screen showing right once they start broadcasting. Ooh, I better set some things. Let me set our altitude for, not very high. Right now, we'll set for 700 feet. Sounds good to me. Put this thing to nav. See if push talk is working. Turn on automatic scene switch again. All right, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Hey, after being pecked by a radioactive bird, that's what I said, a bird, somewhat mannered, Tuthill was possessed to become Kinneas the SKYDUDE. This is episode 159, and today we're doing the Microsoft Flight Simulator Community Fly-In, and they're starting now. Let me take a moment to adjust their Twitch picture. Once they get going. Let me turn off my audio here, my music. So we have quite a few places to go today. We have... Well, I don't know if we're going to see everything, but we leave here at Madrid, the Edificio Mirador, then a bunch of other little places around here. Then we go to LEMQ, then we go to LETI, past a place called Las Herdas, a radar station, monasteries, bridges, castles, sporting clubs, more palaces. So there's going to be a lot to see. Once we get up in the air, Bush Talk might kick in on its own. If it doesn't, like right now, let me zoom in on us. There we are. I should probably play some of these now before we get going. So, we're in Madrid. No, that's not.
The Cementerio de Nuestra Señora de la Almudena, former Necropolis del Este, is a cemetery in Madrid, Spain. It is the largest in Madrid and one of the largest in Western Europe.
All right, so there's a cemetery across town. A stadium across town. I don't know if we're going to get to that. We're going to be passing it on the way out.
Metropolitano Stadium, also referred to as Wanda Metropolitano, is a stadium in Madrid, Spain. It has been the home stadium of Atletico Madrid since the 2017-18 season. The stadium was opened on the 6th of September 1994 by the Community of Madrid. It was closed in 2004 due to the city's bid for the 2016 Olympics, and in 2013 it was passed into the possession of Atletico Madrid. The stadium was renovated and the new facility was reopened to the public on the 16th of September 2017, when Atletico Madrid faced Malaga CF in La Liga. The stadium had a capacity of 20,000 spectators upon its closure and reopened with a seating capacity of 68,456 after renovation. Atletico Madrid offered Wanda Metropolitano as a permanent venue for the finals of the Spanish Copa del Rey matches. The stadium hosted the 2019 UEFA Champions League final on the 1st of June 2019. The stadium was formerly known as Estadio de la Comuna Torres, literally Spain.
We
Tower,
might see that.
is a 231
Keep your eye open for that.
and concrete television tower located in Madrid, Spain. National terrestrial television channels RTVE, Telecinco and Antena 3, as well as the autonomous channel Telemadrid.
The Prado Museum.
The Prado Museum, officially known as Museo Nacional del Prado, is the main Spanish national art museum, located in central Madrid. It is widely considered to have one of the world's finest collections of Sobrino de Botín is a
neat.
Spanish restaurant in Madrid, and the oldest
We
restaurant
won't be able to
in the
see
world
it, but
in continuous operation. The artist Francisco de Goya worked in Café Botín as a waiter while waiting to get accepted into the Royal Academy of Fine Arts. The restaurant is mentioned in an Ernest Hemingway novel and the book Fortunata y Jacinta by Benito Pérez Galdós. History. The restaurant was a small plaza separates two of the most historically important buildings of Madrid and possibly Spain, the Almudena Cathedral and the Royal Palace of Madrid. Almudena Cathedral is a Catholic church in Madrid, Spain. It is the seat of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Madrid. The cathedral's construction started. The Santiago Bernabéu Stadium is a football stadium in Madrid, Spain. With a current seating capacity of 81,044, it has been the home stadium of Real Madrid since its completion in 100. The Palace of Duques de Pastrana is a palace located in Madrid, Spain. The French financier Louis Guillou Rives acquired the land that the palace occupies from the Duchess of Pastrana to establish his residence in Chamartín de la Rosa. He acquired extensive land and established a bakery and tannery. According to Menendez Pidal, Napoleon stayed in this palace during his short stay in Madrid during the War of Independence. The architecture bears clear French influences with Haten-Goulart facade and Area de Negocios de Cuatro Torres.
You can see those towers from here right now from the runway. Look in the upper left corner, those 4 towers sticking up there. That's this.
Area de Negocios de Cuatro Torres, Spanish for 4 Towers Business Area, is a business district located in the Paseo de la Castellana in Madrid, Spain, on the former Ciudad Deportiva of Real Madrid. The area contains the 4 tallest skyscrapers in Spain, and 4 of the 10 tallest in the European Union, the Torre Emperador, Torre de Cristal, Torre PwC and Torre Kepsa. Designed by Cesar Pelli and built by Dragados, Torre de Cristal, with a height of 249 meters, is the tallest building in the country. Construction of the buildings finished in 2008. Now, a 5th tower, Toledo, is under construction.
That's it right over there. No, that's Castlada. They're building another one. Just looking around to see if there's any other landmarks out there. All right. And the other thing that we're going to pass on the way out of here.
The Mirador building is a building of postmodern architecture that is located in the Sanchinaro neighborhood, in the north of the city of Madrid, Spain.
Looks like Legos.
It was developed by the Dutch architecture studio MVRDV in collaboration with the Madrid architect Blanca Leo. The most striking thing about it is the large central
and it looks like a little Lego.
37 meters above the ground. In it there is a community garden and panoramic views of the Sierra de Guadarrama. For the construction of the building, 9 independent blocks were put together around the whole. These blocks can be distinguished from the outside thanks to the different shades and similarities in the stones, concrete and tiles.
All right, well, they haven't quite started yet. It says it's starting soon. Okay, stuff happens. I don't normally start for another hour, so starting early today. So everybody's still staging. And I'm the black and blue one right down there. That's us right there. Whoop. That's me right there. Somebody had to pull up right next to me. I pulled way back to give everybody space so they'd leave me alone. I didn't want to be right in the middle. Don't normally fly the TBM, but it's very nice. Very, very nice. It's very fast. Lag. Still waiting on them to start over there. So welcome to the show. I hadn't thought about any role playing today yet. Maybe will we pick up Don Quixote, copy of Don Quixote. That's not very ambitious today. Last couple of days were good. We scored some diamonds from Julian. Won a soccer match. Lost a soccer match. Won a golf round. 9 rounds of. Yeah. 9 rounds of golf yesterday. We won. We ran into a Vincent van Gogh cosplayer and scored some free Van Gogh reproductions. We had a shady encounter with somebody from The Hague. Saw an amazing dam, and I successfully negotiated us getting greatly discounted hotel food and drinks at our landing destination yesterday, giving us a lot more money to tip and act like big spenders, you know. It's always. Well, they haven't shown up yet. Feels kind of naked without the background music. Until they show up, then. I'm waiting for them to show up so I can fix the page here and blow it all up. Well, I guess it has started. Well, what? They're already talking?
Bonanza.
I didn't know. I didn't hear them.
I'll try to surprise you in between.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to go then. Let me put my parking brake off. Full throttle is in, and I am underway.
Okay.
And Community Fly-In Friday World Tour Stage 13, Madrid to Lisbon, has begun. All right. We are rolling.
And we're rolling, and we're rolling.
Rudder to keep on the center line.
Oi, oi, out of the way here. I'm rolling here.
And
Oi.
rotates. Positive rate gear up.
Can't you see I'm rolling here?
All right, I'm airborne. See a lot of other people taking off behind me. SimFlight Pro, looks like you're also underway.
What's going on with my throttle?
You're using today.
Having a throttle problem again today, are we?
Thank you, sir. I wish I remember who the artist was. The next time I'll keep that in mind.
Looks like we got an excellent turnout of fellow pilots joining us today. Always love to see so many people participating in our Community Fly-In Friday events.
We go ahead and turn on our
People
autopilot.
taking off from either end of the runway. Pure chaos. Absolute madness here in Madrid as we depart.
Really?
Jersey Devil Gaming, we are on Southeast Asia server. You can type !fly in the chat. We'll give you all the information you need to join today's flight if you would like to fly along with us. Now, I haven't had a chance to download it yet, but I see Unhorsed Goose is flying the just released new local legend, the Dornier DO-31. I got a fun story to share about this aircraft. This is a 100% true story. I was at pub trivia last night. As you may know, I play
Real
pub
Madrid
trivia
is the
every
name
week.
given to Real Madrid's training
Every now and
complex,
then there is an
located outside
aviation-related
Madrid in
question.
Valdebebas near Barajas Airport. Also hosting the club's youth academy, known conceptually as La Fábrica, the facility replaced the old Ciudad Deportiva,
I gotta
which
check our
was in
speed.
use until 2003. The
There we go.
sale of Ciudad Deportiva, under the auspices of Real Madrid president Florentino Perez, led to Real earning approximately €480 million. The complex has been nicknamed, and is known to the players, trainers and club staff as Valdebebas, and is named
Beavers.
after the district of the city where the complex is located. Inaugurated in 2005, the training center consists of academy offices, equipment rooms, audio-visuals rooms, a strength and rehab center, and medical and training facilities, as well as 12 1/3 fields, 3 full-size synthetic turf fields and 4 full-size natural grass field for the youth, and for the first team, 1/3 full-size synthetic turf field and 3
Damn,
full-size
this thing is
natural grass
fast.
fields. Ciudad Real Madrid also
Dang.
includes the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium where Real Madrid Castilla plays its home matches. The Real Madrid first team residential building at Real Madrid Sports City is 8,300 square meters in size and has 57 rooms distributed across the first and second floors, each with their own lounge area and terrace. The building also has a cinema, a dining room capable of accommodating 54 people, a common rest area, a climate-controlled pool, reception, 2 guest rooms, and several common terraces. The youth team residence is dedicated to accommodate those players whose families do not reside in Madrid.
All right, I got to do this quick.
It has 40 double rooms, each with a balcony.
We're going to have.
private bathroom,
I wish you'd
a
hurry
common
up,
dining room,
please,
common rest
lady.
areas, and classrooms for the.
We're going to have a
academic
soccer match
education
real quick.
pertaining to the respective age groups that occurs in the afternoons.
All right, we're gonna have a quick match and get going here. Let me roll the dice. Oh, I lost. We lost. Okay, so back to outside. Wanted to do some role playing today. Past the stadium, might as well. All right. I can turn these guys back on.
We have 2 votes for Barcelona.
Sorry, I missed what he was saying, but
Case says them that kicked the ball good.
the Royal Palace is coming up. I have to shut him down again.
Van Hop says Barcelona as well.
Sobrino de Botín is a Spanish restaurant in Madrid, and the oldest restaurant in the world in continuous operation.
Dang.
The artist Francisco de Goya worked in Café Botín as a waiter while waiting to get accepted into the Royal Academy
down there
of
somewhere.
Fine Arts. The restaurant is mentioned in an Ernest Hemingway novel and the book Fortunata y Jacinta by
Okay, we did
Benito
that.
Pérez Galdós. History. The restaurant was founded in 1725 by Frenchman Jean Botín and his wife, and was originally called Casa Botín. Upon Botin's death in 1753, a nephew called Candido Remis changed the name to Sobrino de Botín, which survives to this day. Sobrino is the Spanish word for nephew. The cellar is from 1590 and is older than the restaurant. Apart from using the original recipes, the restaurant has also kept the flame burning in the oven continuously, never to be extinguished. The restaurant and its speciality of cochinillo asado roast suckling pig are mentioned in the closing pages of Ernest Hemingway's novel The Sun Also Rises.
Well, that sounds nice.
Its other signature dish is sopa de ajo, an egg, poached in chicken broth, and laced with sherry and garlic, a favorite pick-me-up with madrileño revelers. A small plaza separates 2 of the most historically important buildings of Madrid and possibly
Okay, I've got to learn how to turn her
the
off.
Almudena Cathedral and the Royal
Okay. All right, we've already done those, and we've got to keep up with the crowd. But I want to have another quick soccer match. All right? I felt bad about that last one. I got a 6. We failed this one, too. You win. Lucky. I really wanted to stay with everybody, but my job as SkyDude doing these and then looking at neat places as we go and listening to the audio tours, it'd be really nice to stay with everybody and get that flight, and I'll try to catch up. I'll go ahead and put the throttle full forward and see if we can't make up a little bit of time there. But, you know, every time I do these, I normally don't pay attention to my job and, you know, providing the audio tours and doing the landmarks and looking at things, and, you know, I'm looking at the other planes. I'm trying to keep up and fly formation with people and stay with the leaders, and speaking of, let me get back to them.
But early on,
Make sure we're caught up.
most popular aircraft for simmers to fly.
Okay, we don't need our dice.
Now the
screen
top 3,
anymore.
last time we published the stats anyways. For first-party aircraft, it was number 1 was the
They've
Cessna
moved the screen.
152, believe it or not. Our suspicion is because that's the plane that's used in all the default tutorials and flying lessons. All the new simmers who are just getting started use the 152 to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
The second most popular choice was the Airbus A320.
Love the
and
320.
Then number 3 choice was the Boeing FA-18 Super Hornets.
I thought the
We also wrapped
172
up,
would have been
just this week, our MSFS
the leader.
Madness. If you remember, we were conducting a March Madness style tournament bracket. Yes, as Stuxet mentioned there. And the winner of the bracket, as chosen by you, the community,
Was not me.
The Boeing 787 Dreamliner.
We're getting some micro stutter today.
Simplify Pro, what are your thoughts on that? Out of all the planes the community could have picked, the grand finals, it was the Dreamliner versus the 747. Do you think the Dreamliner was
what the heck was that
winner?
noise?
Sim Tom says, I do not accept the outcome.
It's pretty hard because the 787 Dreamliner went through a lot of fixes.
No, I know that guy's voice. I watch his videos.
Them. I would still go with the Dreamliner because that has a good chunk of fixes and updates. Even though I like the 747, my heart is with the 747, but you know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. On purpose, this was 100% intentional. We did not set any criteria on what people should use to make their decisions when voting. You know, if someone says, "Oh, I like to fly plane A in the sim better than plane B," that's a valid way to make that decision. Or they could have said, "Well, plane A is historically more important and influential than plane B, so I'm going to vote for that." That's also a valid way to have voted. Or, you know, I just like the way plane A looks better than plane B. That's also totally a valid way.
That's where we're at.
So it's interesting that the community, using any criteria they wanted, the community chose the 787 as the winner. I'm kind of with Tom. Again, it's not my decision. It's the community's decision. This is how literally over 10,000 people, I think something like 18,000 people voted. So very large sample size. I personally thought the 787 was a bit of an odd choice. It wasn't the one that I would have taken myself. I was on team DC3. I think that was knocked out in the second round way too early for my liking. But again, not my call. It was up to the voters. And in the finals, I was definitely I voted myself for the 747. Vera Patrice says the community was wrong, CD was right. Well, by definition, the community is not wrong. You know, they voted for what they voted. You know, we never set criteria. They could choose whatever they wanted, and the community chose the 787. But for me personally, you know, I was talking about this with actually some of our testers internally. Of course, they're very big time into aviation as well. A lot of them are licensed pilots themselves. And they all kind of agreed too that the 747 was the more important and more influential aircraft historically. Certainly credited with opening up air travel to the middle class. Prior to the 747, air travel was really only reserved for the wealthy. It was very expensive until the 747 came along in the 1970s, and then that really made air travel accessible to millions of more people than it had been prior. So for me personally, you know, the Queen of the Skies, it's hard not to feel romantic for the 747, the jumbo jet. Not many of them flying anymore, except maybe in cargo ops. But that was definitely in the final. That was my choice. Whereas for me, I know it's a little bit more complicated than this, but I classified this 787 as basically a evolved, more technically advanced 767. You know, wide body, twin engine. Obviously, it's made of carbon composites, which was a first, and obviously it has very fuel-efficient engines. So to me, the 787 seemed more like evolutionary improvement, whereas the 747, I think, was a real revolutionary and hugely historically important design. But again, that's just my personal opinion. Community decided to vote a different way, and nothing wrong with how they decided to vote if that's what they wanted. Runko says Korean Air Cargo 747 yesterday, flying a little lower than usual on approach to Toronto Pearson. It was lovely. And I have got our first touch and go airport in sight already. So let me disable my autopilot and start my descent.
Is
so
that
here we are.
LEMQ?
Yeah, Lima Echo Mike Quebec. And this is on the outskirts of Toledo in Spain.
And he's already at that, huh?
Also, when we were sharing the results internally with the rest of the flight sim team at Microsoft, we showed them the MSFS Madness bracket, the folks from Working Title had big smiles on their faces. The grand final was 2 of the aircraft that they were personally involved in improving and updating a few sim updates ago. So they were certainly appreciated that the community was rewarding the work that they did by voting for those 2 in the finals. So CD, what was the outcome of your pub quiz question query? So I successfully
I don't see where they're going.
Quizmaster to give my team the points for the Dornier DO-31. I pulled my phone out.
Oh, that's the airport down there.
And, showed the articles that said this is a vertical takeoff jet that had its first flight in 1967. So it is an obscure design. I think the Quizmaster was just they when they were writing that question, they started in reverse. They started, oh, I know the Harrier. Let's write a question about the Harrier, and then they researched that. I think the Quizmaster was just completely unaware that the Dornier DO-31 even existed. All right. Is this a grass strip, by the way? I'm not seeing a paved runway here. And I'm only 3 miles out now. I should be able to see a runway if there was one.
Oh, maybe I don't see the right thing.
Grass. It's a small strip. It says Demonic Dragon. All right, I'm going to lower my gear. All right, gear down and locked. It's a small strip next to a barn.
Is that a grass strip?
Yeah, I think I see it. If this is what I think it is. And yes, it does appear to be a grass strip. Oh, no. Okay, I think it is a paved strip, but it is really small in a big grassy field. Oh, no, I don't think I'm lining up with the right thing, according to my GPS.
That looks like it right down here.
Let's overfly the field and get a better view of it.
That looks like it right there.
I thought it was, here, I'll use my mouse. I thought it was this, but that is apparently not the airport. Go around, yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing about flight safety. It's never a bad decision to go around if you're not feeling confident in your landing.
So we'll do left landing pattern.
My GPS says I'm directly abeam of the airport now, so it should be somewhere right around here.
Dude, it's right below you.
I don't see anything that looks like an airport.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Chad, are you seeing this? All right, you know what? I'm just going to abort this landing, and we'll continue on. We'll not do a touch and go here. That's okay. All right, gear back up and climbing back to cruise. Surly Dev says, I once lobbied a pub quizmaster about the technicality of an answer and gained an extra point. But my question was Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles related, not aviation. Yes, or in North America, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mike Ruin was, yes, on second thought, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place. I don't know, did anyone actually find a runway there? It's clearly marked on the map, but I did not see a runway at all. Let me know in the chat if anyone successfully found that runway for touch and go. Demonic Dragon says, I think I have it. Stuxit says, did. Longitude, I did. It's paved and it's very short. Okay, I just totally missed it. That's okay. Simflight Pro, I'm guessing in the 737 you would not have been able to land on that one anyways. Given
I just put the
it's really short.
Yeah. I just put the landing gear back and
yeah.
I'm trying to take a peek of where I can find this runway.
Wrong Stuff's humble brag. Someone from my trivia group won on Jeopardy last night.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Whiskey Tango West said it's beautiful, calm in live weather. So I watch Jeopardy every now and then. I think I know enough of the answers that I get them correctly that I could be a contestant on the show. My concern is that my reaction time is not what it once was. As I'm getting older, a lot of times I know the answer, but it takes me like a few seconds to think of it, and I wouldn't be able to buzz in fast.
That's what she said.
The other contestants. I've read, I don't know if this is true, but I've read that all 3 contestants on any given episode of Jeopardy typically know between 2/3 and 75% of the answers, and it all comes down to who has better reaction time on the buzzer.
Yeah, I can't even see the strip here.
All right, we're coming up on some landmarks here. Let me go ahead and turn the audio off over there.
The Alcazar of Toledo is a stone fortification located in the highest part of Toledo, Spain. Most of the city was rebuilt between 1939 and 1957 after the siege of the Alcazar during the Spanish Civil War. Once used as a Roman palace in the 3rd century, it was restored under Charles I and his son Philip II of Spain in the 1540s. In 1521, Hernán Cortés was received by Charles I at the Alcazar, following Cortés' conquest of the Aztecs. The name is from Arabic ALCAZAR, the castle. During the Spanish Civil War, Colonel José Moscardó Ituart held the building against overwhelming Spanish Republican forces in the siege of the Alcazar. The incident became a central piece of Spanish nationalist lore, especially the story of Moscardó's son Luis. The Republicans took 24-year-old Luis hostage and demanded that the Alcazar be surrendered or they would kill him. After briefly speaking to his son on the phone to confirm this, Moscardó told Luis to commend your soul to God, shout Viva España, and die like a hero. Moscardó refused to surrender. Contemporary reports indicated that the Republicans then killed Moscardó's son. Other historians have reported that Luis was not in fact shot until a month later in reprisal for an air raid.
All right, I'm trying to bring us down here so we can actually see that structure. It looks like there it is up ahead. And then right beyond that is Toledo itself.
Toledo is a city and municipality located in central Spain. It is the capital of the province of Toledo in the autonomous community of Castile-La Mancha. Toledo was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1986 for its extensive monumental and cultural heritage. Toledo is known as the Imperial City because it was the main venue of the court of Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor in Spain, and as the city of the 3 cultures for the cultural influences of Christians, Muslims, and Jews reflected in its history. It was the capital from 542 to 725 AD of the Visigothic kingdom, which followed the fall of the Roman Empire. Toledo is also the location of historic events such as the Visigothic Councils of Toledo. Toledo served as the capital city of Castile intermittently, as Castile did not have a permanent capital, from 1085 until 1492, when Spain was formed. The old city is located on a mountaintop with a 150-degree view, surrounded on 3 sides by a bend in the Togas River, and contains many historical sites, including the Alcazar, a stone fortification, the Gothic cathedral Catedral Primada of España, and the Zocadova, a central marketplace. As of 2015, the city had a population of 83,226.
All right.
The Puente de San Martín is a medieval bridge across the river Togas in Toledo,
And that's going to be
Spain.
back over here somewhere.
The Puente de San Martín features 5 arches, with the largest in the middle having a span of 40 meters. Only very few bridges in the world were that long at the time of its construction. A legend about the bridge is that Ildefonsus, the Metropolitan Bishop of Toledo, asked to be present at the inauguration of the bridge. When the architect was viewing the bridge the day before the
Oh, we
bridge's
have to have an
inauguration,
encounter on
he was
that.
horrified to
We're going to
notice
have
that
an
he had
encounter
made a
with
perilous
another knight
miscalculation. The
of some
bridge would
kind.
collapse once its supports were removed. He went home and told his wife that the bridge would collapse, with him on it, and that he would be disgraced. That night while he slept, his wife secretly made her way to the bridge and started a fire to ensure it would burn down.
We're going to fight.
Her husband was saved
Okay.
from disgrace and the bridge was rebuilt without the original structural miscalculations.
Okay. We're going to have a role-playing moment here. I'm going to create an encounter where I run into another fighter. Right? And I'm going to give myself a +4, give him a +4. So it's a DC 15, 14, 15. So if we get a 14, it's a tie. Anything over, anything less, we lose. Today we've just been on a losing streak. 14, we tied. All right, good show, good fight. Goodbye to the dice for now. And back over here to these guys.
It actually makes sense, CD. It's one of the most important questions is where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Strumming the guitar.
Very important. I've mentioned this before. Whenever I travel internationally, I do try to learn a few words and phrases in the local language, regardless of what that language is. Obviously, I'm not going to become fluent or even conversational really quickly.
Oh, I did think of another thing I wanted to role play today. Are we going to will we run into a Don Quixote in Sancho Panza cosplayer? And the mule has to be a cosplayer too. So I'm only going to give us a +3 for our charisma. And this is going to be a DC 15. So we've got to get over a 15 to find all three. A cosplaying donkey, a Sancho Panza cosplayer, and a Don Quixote cosplayer. Look at that, folks. Saw it live. Rolled a 20. We scored. Okay, awesome. Now, can we get autographs and maybe a copy of Don Quixote for everybody? Hey, all right, we'll take that. That would have just been a DC 10. Wow. Gotta compliment his armor.
They would pronounce Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Now, is that correct? Anyone?
Well, yeah, if you want to use the lisp in there with the Spanish, you know.
Having a speech impediment. Is that a true story?
The Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona.
Let's see what chat says here. Oh, some Thomas here. Let me add him to the scene. Stand by 1 second.
So it became customary to talk like the king. Sancho Panza. You don't really listen. You say Don Quixote. Let's see where we are. See if we have any landmarks coming up.
Okay, we've got Simtom's web camera on now. Can we get a mic check for Tom?
Hello. Hola.
Hola. Chat, can you hear Tom okay?
Rielves?
¿Cómo estás, Tom?
Todo bien.
Mucho trabajo.
Much work.
Sí, sí.
See, is it a nice orchard down there?
Okay. Sounds like Tom's mic is working just great. Looks like you're getting loaded into the sim right now. I've got your...
To have some farmland would be really nice.
Cool.
All right,
have your own orchard. A lot of work.
I heard the same from a reliable source talking about the King of Spain and how they pronounce. Let me look this up online and see if that's true.
Because you can trust everything you read online. Kidding. I mean, we got to have information, no matter, like with the Bush talk. I mean, how much of this information do we know that we've been listening to is true? I mean, you never know.
Okay, this is apparently true. I'll put a link in the chat here. The source I'm looking at is an ESL language blog. So there's the link. And it's talking about differences between Latin American Spanish and European Spanish. And it says, perhaps the most notable difference between pronunciation in Spain and Latin America is the Lisp, although it is not technically a Lisp, that is common in Madrid and some other parts of Spain. Legend has it, okay, so a legend, that this pronunciation started with King Ferdinand, whose lips was copied by the Spanish nobility.
Whose
As
lips?
is often the case, the legend is probably wrong. Okay, the pronunciation is more likely to have come from the sounds that existed in medieval Castilian, although that doesn't explain why it didn't make it to the colonies. Not all innovations in language are logical.
I don't want that lisp.
Alex, Andalusians speak very different from Madrid. Yes, of course, there will always be regional dialects in different parts of countries, even people who speak the same language. I remember I went to a World War II museum in the UK, and they had a guide. This was an actual document that was issued to American soldiers who were stationed in Britain at the time. And it was basically teaching them how to sort of share a country with the local British population. And they said, you may speak the same language, but you actually may not be able to understand each other. And they compared it, so that if you would listen to, say, the announcer on the BBC, they'll have a British accent. They may pronounce certain words differently than you're used to hearing them in the United States, but you should have no problem understanding what they're saying. For example, in America, they would say banana, and in the UK, they would say banana. But then they said there are other parts of the UK where the regional accent is so different that you, as an American English speaker, will not be able to understand what the English-speaking local population in different parts of the UK are saying.
Well, that's because they're not speaking proper English.
Yeah, regional dialects can make even the same language sound significantly different.
At one point in time, again, this is supposed to be true, that they determined the most proper English-speaking accent is the American English-speaking accent.
Are we doing a touch and go at LETI?
Correct. Lima Echo Tango India.
So coming up on an airport, huh? Where are they at already?
Actually, this is also American English is closer to the English that
there you
Shakespeare spoke than what English people in England speak now.
Interesting.
Maybe. $27 miles to LETI? LETI? Isn't there something at LETI?
All right, Tom, are you able to
I don't see anything.
load it in?
Almost.
Like you're still on a loading screen.
Almost there.
Specifically the Boston accent. Mark Wahlberg sounds like Shakespeare. All right, got the runway in sight. I'm going to line up for a touch and go here. foot to the right of the center line. All right. And rotate. Positive rate gear up.
Well, yeah, the gear down.
All right, Simfly Pro, let's watch your attempted landing now.
Much rudder.
Airbus A330-900 says, hello everyone, I hope you all have a good day. Well, we hope you have a good day as well. Also, we've got Chunky is here. Hey, Chunky, nice to see you. All right, Tom, are you able to get spawned in?
The moment I was about to spawn in, the sim crashed. So
F's in the chat.
I'll be there soon.
I saw someone earlier said we need to climb to 8,500 to clear these mountains. Hey, Chunky said just got home from doing a 3-hour check ride coming early June for your PPL, and then you're on to IFR and commercial. Hey, that's awesome. Congratulations, Chunky. Let us know how that goes, and we're all pulling for you to pass your check ride. I'm sure.
Right. God bless.
That. Is that a solo cross country or with an instructor? Nautical mile solo. Hey, congratulations. That's the last major milestone before you do your check ride. So Englewood is saying KLM is the oldest airline company in the world. With a caveat. It's the oldest airline company still in operation. There were a few airlines that predated KLM, but they are all out of business now. KLM is the oldest surviving airline.
Always.
It's fine.
Of course. It's always reassuring when you hear the pilot saying, "That's the runway." That looks like something I would land on.
Unhorsed Goose says, haven't quite got the hang of the Dornier DO31 yet, but it's gorgeous to look at while I fail miserably at trying to land vertically. Well, we've been watching the reaction from the community to that release from a few days ago, and certainly it's been getting really, really strong reviews from players. Haven't had a chance to try it myself yet.
Perfect.
I will soon. Oh, Simfly Pro just touched down.
Easy.
Wow.
Oh, GG easy. You nailed that one. Well played.
Thank you, sir.
Tom, have you recovered from your crash yet?
It's take 2, so we'll see where we end up.
CD is flying the world's most expensive lawnmower. But the Bonanza? I've never heard it called that before. 11A3S7R0 says, haven't quite got how to communicate with others over the radio yet. Get fighter intercepted all the time. Yes, you can squawk 7600 if you want a free formation flight with a fighter jet. Luke says, oh wait, CD isn't flying the KLM? I'm confused. Who's flying what? Yeah, so it says in the top right corner of your screen, it shows you whose screen we're currently on. So it says current screen, SimFlight Pro, obviously in the cockpit of the 737 there. You can toggle over to my screen. Now I'll say current screen CD. Here I am in the Bonanza. And Tom, you're still loading in?
Yes.
Okay. But yes, if I do switch over to Tom's POV, it'll say current screen SimTom. Be right back, installing new eyes, says Luke.
When are we going to get update 15? I want it.
Talktrace says, I'm flying the Dornier 31 right now. The hover mode is not easy in the hardest boundary mode. So, I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen this in the manual for the Dornier DO31 or the Discovery Series video we posted to YouTube. In real life, that plane required 2 pilots to operate, and not like, say, in a 737 where you have a captain and a first officer, and they're, only one has full control of the aircraft at any one time. The other is sort of like a systems manager or monitoring. In the DO31, 2 pilots were both hands-on flying the plane at all times. So it was not actually possible for a single pilot to operate that. So for Microsoft Flight Sim, AnyBuilds made a AI co-pilot for the Dornier DO31 to simulate having a second pilot helping you manage the workload of operating that plane. Looks like a UFO, says Alex.
I finally spawned in.
He did. And what are you flying?
And because we were talking earlier about the tournament, right? The bracket.
Yeah. Oh, are you flying the 787?
No. The only correct winner.
The winner in our hearts.
Yes.
The Queen of the Skies.
So we'll go with this one. That'll be interesting on those small strips.
right. Has anyone either on our panel, SimFlight Pro or SimTom, or anyone from the chat, have any ever flown as a passenger on a 747 before?
400 from British Airways.
Nice.
I think I've flown Lufthansa long ago. It's always a good memory.
I still wish I had all of my wings from flying.
I've never had the opportunity.
All of my
myself.
cards from when I was a kid. Lots of flying when I was a kid.
The thing I still remember is how tall the cabin is. It's like you can fully stand up and
Yep.
not even reach the ceiling yet.
Yeah, in terms of wide bodies, I've flown on 777, 787. See what else. I don't think I've ever been on an Airbus wide.
This is where we should have an encounter, a very Conan-like encounter. Look at all this terrain.
737.
Yeah, let's have a Conan
767
encounter.
But never a 747, and never a Concorde. That would have been another one I would have really liked to fly on as well.
Gonna add
Chris Kotiak says, as a kid, I once got to
Plus
sit in
4.
the cockpit of a
We're gonna have a Conan barbarian encounter. I'm gonna add a +4. We're gonna make it a DC. Conan's an exceptional fighter. Make it a DC-15. No, we got beat.
all times.
Good thing you can still do it if they allow it on the ground.
Beat by a barbarian in Spain.
Yeah, pre or post flight, you can still do it.
Yeah.
Some beautiful shots there from SimTom of the Queen of the Skies.
Only correct winner. Well, no, actually in chat I said that the only winner should be the hot air balloon.
The 400 knot hot air balloon.
That one, yeah.
Fun.
Well, there are, as you saw from the trailer, there are hot air balloons coming in Flight Simulator 2024.
So maybe when we do the bracket again next year, who knows?
Oh, I just overtook Ingo.
Is he flying inverted?
He is not currently flying inverted.
Uh,
We made that joke earlier, though, and he did roll inverted at that time. Jimmy, do you like movies about gladiators? It's such a quotable movie. So many good lines in that.
Stewardess, I speak jive.
I started watching Fallout this week.
I was going to talk about that. I binge watched the whole thing last weekend.
I fell asleep at the end.
No spoilers,
Last
obviously,
episode.
for the chats, but what do you think so far?
It gives me the Atlas Shrugged vibe.
Raspin says, I love the fact that I'm flying slow coast to CD that I can see his cockpit and flight.
I had another driver crash.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Fallout as well. I haven't played the whole series. I played Fallout 3 and I've played New Vegas. I haven't played any other games. But yeah, I liked all the references. I did buy Fallout 4 last week. It's on sale. I think it's on sale still, but you get the Fallout 4.
It was until 2 hours ago.
F's in the chat if you missed that then. But yeah, I bought like Fallout 4 and all the DLC for like $10 because it was on sale. Yeah. So they are releasing
81 degrees temperature. That could be the problem.
Like in a week. So I'm waiting till that comes out to start that.
Yeah. Yeah, I also bought Fallout 4 now. And 3. I mean, I have 3, but then it's on disc, and I mean, my PC doesn't have a disc reader anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just buy it. It was like €5. I also got 76. I know that was a bit controversial when it released, but I'll see.
I heard it's much improved.
Yeah, I think
again, I
so,
haven't
yeah.
played it now, but I've been reading some reviews online because I thought I might get into that as well. And people are saying, yeah, it had a kind of a bit of a troubled launch, but the devs have stuck with it, and it's much improved now, and people seem to be really enjoying it. I also saw in the wake of the TV series that Fallout 76 had its greatest number of simultaneous players ever in the last week.
Because that's the multiplayer Fallout, right?
Correct.
It's always online.
Yeah. Although, again, from reading the reviews, I've heard you can mostly play it as a single-player experience. You'll just see other players kind of running around doing their own thing at various times.
Yeah. Basically like in the flight simulator, when you see other...
All right, getting the temperature down back to 72 degrees. Yeah, it was up in the 90s. The fans were not set high enough.
Even though they were very
Could
cheap,
be.
like €2, the original Fallout 1 and 2, I'm too disconnected to that type of graphics and style.
Yeah, I've heard the story of Fallout 1 and 2 are really good, but I think the gameplay and the presentation at this point is a little bit too dated. I mean, these are games from the late 90s, so over 25 years old at this point. Factual says, I find
We've been
Fallout
playing
too
DCS
dystopian.
World
I'm holding out for
15 years.
a Climb In franchise. And if Peter was
Where's
here,
Peter
he would
with the
play
button?
the rim shot sound effect right then. Now, Factual, I know we were talking last week. You have some friends who are really into Fallout that you watch TV shows with regularly. Have you talked to them about the Fallout TV series yet? And are they watching it? And Ingo. Oh, Factual, yes, it's on the list, but we haven't seen it yet. Okay. I do think, Factual, that your friends definitely would really enjoy it, and I even think you might like it as well, even though I know you haven't played those games. And then Ingo is recommending Outer Worlds to Factual, which again is from Obsidian, same developers as Fallout New Vegas, and that is available on Game Pass. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can check out Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I think I'll just restart in Fallout 3 and New Vegas just to experience it all over again. But I also agree with you, CD, that I believe New Vegas was the more enjoyable one.
Yeah, between Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I like New Vegas better. I did enjoy them both, though.
Yeah. But you also haven't played 4, right?
No, but I bought that earlier this week because it was on super sale.
Same.
So I'm just waiting for the patch that's coming out next
Las
week.
Urdes is a
and then I'll,
comarca in the
start playing
Sistema
that.
Central, at the northern end of the province of Cáceres in the autonomous community of Extremadura, Spain. A well-known historical region, Las Urdes is currently a site of community importance of the European Union. Las Urdes covers an area of 470 square kilometers, bordered with Sierra de Gata to the west, Sierra de Francia of Castile-Leon to the north, and Trasierra/Tierros de Granadier to the south. It is a relatively high mountain region with low population density.
But yeah, if you then look at content mods and I think when I first played it, I know a lot of people will be mad, but I just liked the trainers, the cheats, because then you could just go, mind your own business.
I'm kind of with you. I usually like to play games vanilla or as close to the developer's original position as possible. I will every now and then install some mods that are kind of like quality of life improvement mods, things like that, particularly for older games where they'll like improve the UI or things like that, or just make the game a little bit more player friendly. I don't normally play content mods that are made by players. There is one exception I made.
Temperature's down to 53 degrees.
Knights of the Old Republic 2, if anyone remembers that, came out in 2004. Infamously, it was rushed to market so it could come out for a holiday 2024 release. And a lot of content was cut from that game. And then there's what's called the restored content mod, and that actually restores a lot of that cut content. So, I know Tom, I know you're a big Star Wars fan. Did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2?
I did not. Fortunately. Well, maybe a question for chat. Best mods for Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4. We can get going.
Unhorsed Goose says, talking about the Fallout TV series, as a fan, I'm really enjoying it, but my father, who hasn't played the games and doesn't really know anything about it, was very confused and lost when he watched the first episode. So I had to give him a rundown of the basics, retro future setting, vault tech, factions, and such. He said that helped a lot with getting invested in the show.
Well, you get...
Luke says, CDFI asks, just curious, are you streaming this for Microsoft, Asobo, or specifically the team on Flight Simulator? So I work for Microsoft on the Microsoft Flight Simulator team. So I'm one of the community managers. You may know Jane, who is the senior community manager, and then also Chewy, who is actually streaming right now. He's doing some airline stuff over on his channel. He's one of our other team members. And then we have Inquest, who is our other community manager as well. She doesn't really appear on camera, but she does a lot of our behind-the-scenes work, particularly anything with graphic design. So all our stream overlays that you're seeing on your screen right now, those were all made by Inquest. The MSFS Madness, all the tournament brackets stuff, all those graphics, that was all Inquest who made those. So she does really great work for the team as well. Y'all hiring, says Ingo. We do not have any vacancies on the team at the moment. And yes, we are coming up to the border between Spain and Portugal. But Tom, have you ever been to Portugal?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Which parts?
Northern, like Porto, that area. And I haven't been to Lisbon yet.
Factual is just coming in with one awful dad joke after the next. She's wondering if you've been to Port Ugal, which is apparently a famous marine shipping terminal in Portugal. And then once again, if Peter was here, he would hit the sound effect button.
But I do have something in the background. I'll just do this so you can see it better. Maybe some of you might have eaten it already.
Looks like an egg tart.
It's
What is that, Tom?
it's called a pastel de nata.
Okay, and what does that mean in English?
Oof.
Nata is that
Oh,
nut?
it says custard cakes.
Custard cake.
Yeah.
A pasty. Pasty?
And my girlfriend actually was there last week, and she brought back a box from there.
Oh, jealous.
And it's so good when you warm them up a little bit. I mean, you can eat them cold, but
Micah says, Port Ugal is not to be confused with Portugal. Easy transport for your favorite shorebird. Another rim shot on the drums there. All right, well, why don't Simflight Pro, you paying attention? We're about to
Yes,
put you on
sir.
the spot. We're about to put you on the spot here. Do you have Twitch chat open so you can read the comments from the viewers?
Okay.
All right. What we're gonna do, as we often do when we have a guest on the stream, you're going to read out where everybody is from. So, chat, which country are you from? Where are you watching from right now?
Germany, Gibraltar, Norway, Toronto, Ontario, Hungary, USA, Germany, Scotland, Denmark, Space, England, California, Missouri, USA, Canada, England, Spokane, Germany, Czech Republic, Netherlands, US, Romania, Germany, Japan, Canada, Bangalore, India. I'm from Bangalore. North Korea, the Wasteland, USA, Minnesota, UK, International Space Station. Wow. Denver, Colorado, Netherlands, New York City, currently in Germany. Great. Moncton, Canada, not the Canadians, that's great. Virginia, Jordan. Ha ha ha, chat goes frenzy. Of course it does. Portugal, the pub. I like that. Come on, guys, more. South Africa, beautiful. That's it. Sweden.
Yeah.
Brazil. Kingdom of Zamunda. Never heard of that though. Is that fictional? Nicely done at SimFlight Pro. Hey, Factual Girl. It was nice to meet her in Houston last year.
That's right. It was Flight Sim Expo at Houston last year. Coming up in Vegas this year in about 2 months' time. Late June in Vegas. Flight Sim Expo 2024. We will be there, the Microsoft Flight Sim team. So excited to see anyone from the community who is at Flight Sim Expo in Vegas. Be sure to stop by our booth and say hello. We'd love to talk to you.
Two months remaining for that, huh? Time flies.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh. Really hope you have something about 2024.
I got messed up.
That. You'll have to wait and see.
What happened there?
Some interesting geography here. I think there was a POI here, but I'm not sure what it was.
I believe one of the, I don't know which one specifically, but I think one of the POIs on the flight plan today is a radar station in the mountains.
Oh my.
Now, here's a question, Tom. You know that meme from Toy Story 2 where the girl is dropping the cowgirl doll into the trash, saying, "I don't want to play with you anymore."
Mm-hmm.
You know that meme?
Uh-huh.
Is that you with Dune now? This Fallout, your new obsession?
For the time being, yes.
Tossing Dune into the trash and now planning to play with Fallout instead.
Now I have to play the games.
I'm curious to know, is that, I think Inglewood mentioned the Kingdom of Zamunda? Is that a real place?
That was Eddie Murphy in King of America. Coming to America.
That sounds like a meme kingdom.
It's an imaginary African kingdom from the film Coming to America. That was Eddie Murphy? Was in that?
Eddie Murphy.
Is that the one that the song goes like, "Coming to America"?
No. That's Rocky.
And now the full version, please.
That's from Rocky.
Watch that movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a nice movie. It's a funny movie, right? I think he.
You guys really are flight sim nerds.
A prince or a king, and he comes to America.
McDowell's.
Okay.
Jump on one foot and bark like a dog.
In America.
Stuxit said it's Eddie Murphy's second best movie.
Rocky Marciano.
All right, I'll bite. Stuxit. What is Eddie Murphy's first best movie?
First best movie? That was 48 Hours.
WBN, this is
48 Hours, then
music
Trading
from
Places.
Epidemic Sound, which is a subscription service we subscribe to be able to play this music on the stream. Chat saying Beverly Hills Cop is Eddie Murphy's best movie. Stuxus says Trading Places. Also a good choice. I mean, chat, come on. How can you not say Shrek though? I know he's not. Yeah, Sterling Dev, thank you. I know he's not the lead character in Shrek, but Eddie Murphy as Donkey is pretty incredible.
Ingo Plane approves my song.
Or The Nutty Professor. Patty Daycare. The
What's
Nutty
that movie?
Professor 2, The Clumps. Anyone remember that?
Harlem Nights. I can't believe they didn't mention 48 Hours. That's one of his best.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy. Oh, here's a fun bit of trivia for you. Did you know that in the original 1984 Ghostbusters, Eddie Murphy was originally going to be cast as one of the Ghostbusters?
Oh.
But I think it was due to scheduling issues.
Oh.
Part.
That's too bad.
I don't know.
It's a fun bit of trivia for you.
Does this button still work? You hear it?
I heard that, yeah. Chat, did you hear that?
I don't know if chat heard it.
We heard it.
Yeah.
Like, ding, sure. Yes. Well, we've crossed into Portugal, and with that, there is an announcement from the cabin, or from the cockpit.
I can't believe we have had
One passenger from
no
the back
audio
join us
tour
and the fly deck.
pop-ups.
She's
This has been a long stretch.
It's okay. I can bring water.
I am vulnerable to fake websites. Or new fake websites.
Hello. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Ooh.
Chats, can you hear our new
Hello.
guest?
Hi there. Thanks for
That's the
having
yes.
me.
Okay, so Tom, why don't you introduce our new VIP guest?
Yes, this is Rita. She's my girlfriend, and she is from Portugal. So I thought, well, let's bring some local knowledge to the stream. And
Hope to do a good service. It's always funny when you have to speak about your own country. It's when you're like, oh, damn, maybe I should go read something. Check those facts. But yeah, it's always a good chance to learn or remember something nice. I saw that Thomas was already showing the sweets.
and chat is saying hello to you.
Ah, hello. Obrigada. Olá.
All right, well, welcome, Rita. We're very pleased to have you here with your local knowledge of your home country of Portugal.
Thank you.
Okay, right away, Surly Dev is going for the hard questions. Surly Dev says, Rita, this is an important question. Pineapple on
Oh,
pizza, yes or no?
That's a very tricky question. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say no because I have Italian friends. Even though I feel very under pressure right now. It's all I can say.
What do you mean? No.
Don't like.
I
don't-
won't expose the secret.
I'm sorry, I come from a family where we do a lot of strange mixtures with food. Like, we like to try different tastes together that normally don't go. So that's, I think you get my answer.
It's not doing a flight level change.
And because it was about pineapple on pizza, there's a game show going on here in Belgium, where there's like a mole in between them, and he tries to sabotage everything. and they're currently in Italy. And one of the challenges was to get a pizza to a certain place in a town, but they put like people that were hidden of the rooftops, and they were throwing pineapple down at the contestants, and they were like one of the biggest shames.
It was really funny, them running with the pizzas on their hands and trying to escape the pineapple from falling on top.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was one of the
So
funniest
funny.
ones so far. I like the look of despair when the pineapple fell on the pizza. It's really like...
Yeah, and that's what Luke is saying, but I think in the Netherlands they also have it. Here it's just called the mole.
Ah, yeah. Is that how you say mole in English?
Mole.
Okay.
By the way, Rita, I like that you called a pineapple ananas. I'm going to show an image. It's one of my favorite memes. The word in different languages.
Oh boy.
That's weird.
Wow.
You can see this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it's funny that I said ananas because I said it as in Dutch, which is a language I had to learn when by living here. But in Portuguese, it's ananas, which is also kind of close by.
Yeah, it looks like in almost every language here,
Serra da Estrela is the highest mountain range in continental Portugal.
And then
Together
English
with the
is
Serra da
only
Lausa,
one.
it is the westernmost
Got like a
constituent
bunch
range
of
of the
bullets
Sistema
up there,
Central and
pineapple.
also
I
one of
lost
the
my
highest
volume
in the
control.
system. It includes mainland Portugal's highest point at 1,993 meters
Sadly, I-
above mean sea level. This point is not a distinctive mountain summit, but rather the highest point in a plateau, being known as Torre. Torre is an unusual summit in that it is accessible by a paved road. The peak has a topographic prominence of 1,204 meters and its parent peak is Pico Almanza
Wow,
in Spain.
that is pretty.
It is formed from a huge granite ridge that once
Wow.
formed the southern frontier of the country.
Granite.
Actual is in the
Yeah.
chat. There's maple syrup. Yeah.
I think it's like an Italian might not approve, but you made me feel like I'm in a safe space, so I appreciate that. And yeah, I think for me the thing with pineapple is that it's like you have
One of those
to choose
red
which-
spots.
Give some, yeah. For me, it's nice. I don't know,
I wonder if those
but I
are
don't do
clay.
it too often.
Iron and clay?
So
I don't know.
I try to keep my guilt feelings a bit away.
So factual, I've tried this pizza that I just described before, and it is by far the best pizza I've ever had in my life. And the reason is that you get a really good balance of flavors. You get some sour from the pineapple, you get sweet from the maple syrup, you get salty from the prosciutto, and then of course you get like savory from the crust and the tomato sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds like
Yeah.
an interesting
That's-
combination.
So
I've had, what was it, the other one I had in Portugal, a pear with honey and walnuts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
something close to what factual goal is actually saying. Pear, goat cheese,
Ah, yeah.
walnut, and maple syrup.
Yeah, I had something similar. Yeah, okay, I see that here is sort of a safe space.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
absolutely.
people trying different things. Okay.
So
Just
very
like-
artful says Hawaiian pizza is Canadian. Bet you didn't know that. I did
Ah.
know that. In fact, I absolutely did know that. Hawaiian pizza was invented by a Greek immigrant in Toronto, Canada, who ran a pizza shop in Toronto.
I
and
don't
he
believe
invented
it.
the
I don't believe
Hawaiian
it.
Pizza.
I don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't believe it.
Interesting.
So
In Hawaii, they were all
like
into the
pineapple on
spam.
pizza. You can blame Canada.
I don't believe it.
Or Greece, I suppose. Since
I don't believe it.
The person who invented the pineapple pizza was a Greek immigrant to Toronto.
No, it was people from Hawaii
That's
throwing
nice.
spam and
What about
pineapple.
Portuguese cuisine.
They had pineapples first.
So but you talked about the pastéis, but you didn't talk about the other one,
I
did
didn't
you?
show the other ones.
That's
And can I show
that's
them?
my belief, and I'm sticking
Camera's
to it.
there, right?
Yes.
So maybe.
All
you
right, we
can
can
also-
come down now.
This is also
If it
one
does-
of
yes,
my.
we'll have to do it
you
the
have
other
to
way,
maybe.
because otherwise we'll do this.
This is another one. They're basically called something like soft eggs from Aveiro. And Aveiro is a city, a coastal city. It's interesting because nearby Aveiro you have... I always forget if it's Costa Nova or Casa Nova. I'm sorry. It's Costa Nova probably. And that's a small village we actually visited together, and where the houses... It's like a lot of fishermen houses sort of next to each other, and they're all very characteristic because they have these vertical lines, and then they vary between like white and blue lines.
I like this.
White and yellow, white and red, so you have like this very strong pattern that you can see like there at the coast. It's really nice. And yeah, the soft eggs, they're like egg, how do you say, like paste almost inside, and then the outside is when...
All right, so I'm so used to when we're doing these trips in the caravan, I'm so used to hanging out with you in the back when we take our breaks, and I love talking about customizing these things for travel and guests. And, you know, so far out of all the different interiors that we've been in that we can actually get to. And I hope interiors are a big part of 2024 in a major way. And I've talked about that, adding passengers, live passengers, social spaces. But anyway, the things that we're going to need. So we're going to need a drop-down table for sure, right? Or something. We're going to need a table we can have between us, since we're facing this way. And we need chess. I need some chess. And we're going to need laptop stuff. Ports for laptops. We're going to need better lighting. Possibly monitor on at least one side. I'd almost replace these windows for video monitors that can show you everything outside and show you different views. Touchscreen video screens that can show you any perspective outside, and so enhanced window, and that way you can, you know, I know that's really pricey, but hey, we're dreaming here. For you and I, we're going to need some sort of drink system. Two driver crashes during this show. That's really unusual. We really don't have too many problems. I had a problem the other day, but the fan speeds are right. You know, well, actually, now that the driver failed, probably kick the fans back on. So I don't really know. Not fans are still going just fine. So I don't know. Something in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I was talking about customizing this interior so that we could have a better time.
There's a lot of excavations
when hanging out
in that area. But from what I understand, Coimbra also has a lot of old buildings.
So Luke Herman's Gaming in the chat is saying that Portuguese sailors invented sushi.
What?
Is that true?
No.
Like, I know.
No.
I know.
Wow.
I recently started watching Shogun. If any of you have seen that, which is a really, really good.
Maybe, I don't know.
Series.
Teaching them how to preserve their food, but I can't.
And I know it has.
Okay.
Portuguese
Now that one,
traders,
okay.
Merchants visiting.
Yeah, he's right.
Feudal Japan is a big part of the story. I didn't know that they invented sushi though.
But they may have been doing it as a way to teach them preservation.
Local Japanese population.
Wow.
Luke says it was put together to conserve the fresh ingredients with rice and seaweed.
Yeah, because they have to be so long on the boats, probably, to travel all the way. Yeah, I also saw that there was some kind of
all right.
that was also used later on in Asia. So maybe, yeah, it sounds possible. I didn't know that. That sounds really fascinating. Because I'm a big sushi fan, so now I have to investigate.
Yeah.
No, I love it too.
Tom is not biting on that challenge. Raspin.
All right, let's find out where we are.
Okay, here's a question, Tom. What would we have to do to get you to eat a pineapple pizza on stream?
All right, we should be making a turn here and heading south. We're getting really close to Lisbon.
Can there be a cash prize?
Not cash, but some kind of non-cash.
We're not getting our circles today, showing us our route.
Eat a pineapple pizza on stream. Maybe think about that for a little bit.
I'll think about it.
Right away.
Tune in next week to find out.
Okay, we passed some points on here. I don't want to pause them, but we passed some points on here that I want to play for you.
Estádio Cidade de Coimbra is a stadium in Coimbra, Portugal. This stadium belongs to the municipality of Coimbra and is mainly used by the Académica de Coimbra's football team. The stadium was rebuilt, expanded, and modernized to host some UEFA Euro 2004 matches. Coimbra is a city and a municipality in Portugal. The population of the municipality at the 2011 census was 143,397. The fourth largest urban centre in Portugal, it is the largest city of the district of Coimbra and the Centro region. Among the many archaeological structures dating back to the Roman era, when Coimbra was the settlement of Iminium, are its well-preserved aqueduct and cryptoporticus. Similarly, buildings from the period when Coimbra was the capital of Portugal still remain. During the late Middle Ages, with its decline as the political centre of the Kingdom of Portugal, Coimbra began to evolve into a major cultural centre. This was in large part helped by the establishment of the University of Coimbra in 1290, the oldest academic institution in the Portuguese-speaking world. Apart from attracting many European and international students, the university is visited by many tourists for its monuments and history. Its historical buildings were classified as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2013 as follows. Coimbra offers an outstanding example of an integrated university city with a specific urban typology as well as its own ceremonial and cultural traditions that have been kept alive through the ages.
I think we're off course. Maps. No, I don't want that. I want. Yeah, I wanted this. I want our direct to. Well, that'll work. Okay. Somehow or another, the GPS broke. So, we are fixing that now. And that should toggle this. Stefan's. What is our altitude? One moment, please. Did the Fawns play?
Figueira de Foz, also known as Figueira for short, is a city and a municipality in the Coimbra district, in Portugal. Practically at the midpoint of the Iberian Peninsula's Atlantic coast, it is located at the mouth of the Mondego River, 40 kilometers west of Coimbra and sheltered by hills, sharing about the same latitude with Philadelphia, Baku, and Beijing. The population of the municipality in 2011 was 62,125, in an area of 379.05 square kilometers. The city of Figueira de Foz proper has a population of 46,600. It is the second largest city in the district of Coimbra. It is a coastal city with several beaches, summer and seaport facilities on the Atlantic Ocean coast. As a tourism city, it plays an important part in the center of the country. A zone of legal gambling, one can find in Figueira one of the biggest casinos of the Iberian Peninsula, the Casino Figueira.
Oh, Sunfly Pro, good, you're back. We were hoping we wouldn't miss you for the rest of the stream.
Of course not. I mean,
Yeah.
I had a request to the air hostess and got myself a cup of coffee.
Oh, very good.
How many nautical miles are you guys from our final destination airport?
Well, I'm coming up on the last waypoint, and then it's 75 nautical miles from that waypoint to Lisbon.
Okay.
Is that LPPT? The last
Correct.
destination?
Yeah, Lima Papa Papa Tango is the Lisbon airport. Have we talked about food beside pizza? Yes, we have, Jane. In fact, Rita was
Yes.
Oh yeah.
mentioned several famous Portuguese dishes.
Yeah, the other one that I talk a lot about is francesinha. If you can find a picture of francesinha for the background.
We can.
And it's funny because you were talking about
We'll have to write
the
it
person
because,
that was living in Canada, but he was from Greece. Actually, this dish was invented by a Portuguese that lived some years in France, and then when he went back to Portugal, he made this dish. No,
This
that's
one.
not a nice picture.
Wait.
Can I search a good
Sure.
one?
Well, it has to be a good one. Oh.
Because it's a very it will scare you otherwise, like it has to be somehow good looking. Okay, that's better, right?
Well,
Or
still,
this looks fancy.
Sure. It's a fancy picture for something that I think most people are gonna see it. So.
No, yeah,
This one?
I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, maybe that one.
Alright.
Or is it
No, it's
you just scare them right away?
oh.
All right.
Oh,
Hang on, we got a question from Raspin saying, how do I spell that, quote, weird-looking French bread, croissant? And your second
chocolatier?
spelling is correct. By the way, stand by 1 second.
Mhm.
I'll just throw it in.
Do you say
I just
croissant?
happen to have a
Oh.
cheese croissant.
That looks good.
Nice.
It is
Looks
good.
like a French looking one because actually in Portugal we have croissants as well. Yeah, I say it as we say, like croissant. And it's funny because Thomas also didn't find them very good looking. Because you have like the French one, like you're eating is more like how do you say that name of the dough? Is like the pastry more like in layers and like kind of more dried in a good way,
Mhm.
not like dried as
It's like crunchy.
crunchy, yeah. and in Portugal we have them, but then we do them very
They're kind of more soggy and more
Yeah.
full of sugars. I
yes,
think.
soggy
Because if
it's
you
a
would,
good
if you
word.
touch the outside,
Okay.
your fingers are
So I'm
Yeah.
changing course here to try to, because we got off course, to try to re-intercept this group of airplanes
I have this
and then go back to nav.
Whoa.
up there.
Oh boy. So
Wow.
yeah,
Well, that was great. Monte Redondo.
I feel, yeah, I feel like if you eat one of these, you don't really think about it for, I would say, 2 weeks to a month. And this is basically like squared bread. So these.
Looks like a Reuben with some fries. In an edit version, in the edited version, I think I'll play some James Bond music. Let's use this moment to do a little bit of role playing, shall we? Let this be a James Bond moment. Let me see if it's popped up on the screen. Okay, good. All right, can't use our strength or dexterity in this, so we'll just a +1 intelligence. And when we meet this group here in a moment, will we have a James Bond encounter? Meaning, we're going to run into an adversary that could potentially do us some damage. So we'll make this a DC 12. So we need to get higher than a 12. Or we take damage to the plane or ourselves, or we lose some secret documents or something. So, cross fingers. Here we go. 9. So we have failed in our Bond encounter in the sky here. We're making contact with the group now. Let's switch back over to nav and bring our speed down. Doesn't seem like it is. Let's just do heading then. Well, everybody's off. It doesn't seem like anybody's actually following the GPS line. You know, they weren't using autopilot. They're all just following each other, following the leader. Otherwise, how could you account for that? All right, I need to get us back outside because we're coming. We were passing some areas that we're going to.
The Sanctuary of Fatima, also known as Sanctuary of Our Lady of Fatima, is a group of Catholic religious buildings and structures in Cova da Iria, in the civil parish of Fatima, in the municipality of Auam, in Portugal. In addition to the Basilica of Our Lady of the Rosary, the shrine consists of the Chapel of the Losbarine, a great oak tree near where the 1917 Marian apparitions occurred, a monument to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and the Chapel of the Apparitions, which contains the area where 3 children, Lucia dos Santos and her cousins, Francisco and Jacinta Mato, said they were first visited by the Virgin Mary. In addition, several other structures and monuments were built in the intervening years to commemorate the events. Across from the main sanctuary is the much larger Basilica of the Holy Trinity, constructed after 1953, owing to the limited scale of the sanctuary for large-scale pilgrimages and religious services.
Over here, we didn't see it, passing it.
The Monastery of Batalha is a Dominican convent in the municipality of Batalha, in the district of Leiria, in the Centro region of Portugal. Originally, and officially, known as the Monastery of St. Mary of the Victory, it was erected in commemoration of the 1385 Battle of Aljubarrota and would serve as the burial church of the 15th century of this dynasty of Portuguese royalty. It is one of the best and original examples of late flamboyant Gothic architecture in Portugal, intermingled with the Manueline style. The Battle of Aljubarrota took place in the late afternoon of August 14, 1385, between Portuguese troops with English allies, commanded by D. João I of Portugal and his constable D. Nuno Álvares Pereira, and the Castilian army and its allies led by João I of Castile. The battle took place in the field of São Jorge, in the town of S. Jorge, belonging to the parish of Calvaria de Cima, municipality of Porto de Mos, near the village of Aljubarrota, between that municipality and Alcabaça. Initially it was called a royal battle because the armies were commanded by the respective kings. This designation fell out of use and the name of the place started to be used. The result was a definitive defeat for the Castilians, the end of the 1383–1385 crisis and the consolidation of D. João I, formerly the Master of Avis, at the beginning of the rebellion, as King of Portugal, the first of the Avis dynasty. The Luso-British alliance emerged reinforced from this battle and would be sealed
like the rental car company Avis?
Signing of the Treaty of Windsor and the marriage of King D. João I to D. Filipa de Lancaster. As a thank you for the victory in the Battle of Aljubarrota, D. João I ordered the construction of the monastery of Batalha. Peace with Castile would only come to be established in 1411 with the Treaty of Ayllón, ratified in 1423. The Battle of Aljubarrota was one of the rare great pitched battles of the Middle Ages between 2 royal armies and one of the most decisive events in the history of Portugal. It innovated military tactics, allowing dismounted men at arms to be able to defeat powerful cavalry. In the diplomatic field, it allowed the alliance between Portugal and England, which lasts until today. On the political side, it resolved the dispute that divided the Kingdom of Portugal from the Kingdom of Leon and Castile, paving the way under the Avis dynasty for one of the most striking times in the history of Portugal, the Age of Discoveries. Directly associated with the victory of the Portuguese in this battle, the legendary figure of the heroine Brights de Almeida, better known as the Padre de Aljubarrota, was celebrated, who with his shovel will have killed 7 Castilians that he had found hidden in his oven.
So we're off course again. Re-engaging the autopilot. Didn't want to take. Nothing up ahead for the moment. And we missed the monastery in this place back here.
The Torres Novas castle keeps inside the imposing walls with 11 towers, a pleasant and well-kept garden which you can enjoy. After the implementation of a project of physical and environmental rehabilitation, the monument and surrounding area have become even more pleasant with the setting of footpaths and a leisure area. This Arab fortress from the 12th century was definitely conquered in 1190 by King Sancho I.
Definitely.
It was subject to various reconstructions, standing out the ones made during the reigns of the kings D. Sancho I and D. Fernando, and the one done in celebration of the centenary of the independence and the restoration. It was classified as National Monument on the 16th of June 1910.
Hmm. Pardon me, I'm fiddling with some crap on my desk. My organization of my, it's not, the desk isn't ideal, in my opinion. This thing is giving me the fits. An old pop screen that I'm trying to either use or get out of the way. But I'm constantly turning my head for. Yeah, I'm constantly turning my head to use the second monitor, and I'm always talking away from the microphone, and more at this angle, and need to put it in a spot that's a little bit better. Wish I had one of those boom ones that you could, with an armature.
Tour of
It's okay otherwise. I just noticed the comment.
Luke is asking, do they have Yopi sauce flavor Lay's potato chips in Belgium?
Oh boy.
I think I've seen them, yes.
I think we tried it.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Oh my god, it was no. I would support more pineapple on pizza than the chips with this weird.
It is kind of crazy how many flavors there are of chips, like mayonnaise, barbecue, ham, eggs, steak. For everyone something.
Yeah.
Gross.
All right.
They're
very
usually
good.
gross.
Thanks for the Emirates flight. We'll be in contact. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Lay's potato chips, SimFlight Pro, this will probably deeply offend you to your core.
Their low salt
Here in
ones are
Canada,
amazing.
I know you mentioned earlier from Bangalore. There's a large community of immigrants from India in Canada, and Lay's potato chips has released a masala flavor.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn them off for a moment again, or at least the audio, because we got a whole bunch of things to see down here. All right, once we get there, so I want to start playing them now, so that you have them in mind when we circle the town. This is the one coming up here.
The Lezíria Bridge is a box girder bridge flanked by viaducts and range views that spans the Torres River and the Soraia River between Carregado and Benavente, northeast of Lisbon, capital of Portugal.
All right.
It is the second longest bridge in Europe and the 9th longest in the world, with a total length of 12 kilometers.
Wow.
The main bridge spans 972 meters over the Torres and the Soraia rivers. The bridge was constructed in 21 months using the and opened to traffic on July 2007. The bridge carries 6 road lanes, with a speed limit of 120 km per hour or 75 miles per hour, the same as motorways.
Dang it. Why are you not bouncing off of that one? The right one. Stop centering on me then.
The Vasco da Gama Tower is a 145-meter lattice tower with skyscraper in the civil parish of Parque das Nações, the municipality of Lisbon, in Portugal. Built on the north bank of the Torres River, it is named after the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama. The tower was built in 1998 for the Expo 98 World's Fair. The Lisbon Oceanarium is an oceanarium in Lisbon, Portugal. It is located in the Parque das Nações, which was the exhibition grounds for the Expo 98. It is the largest indoor aquarium in Europe. Sporting Clube de Portugal is a football club based in Lisbon, Portugal. The Campo Pequeno Bullring Portuguese, Praça de Touros do Campo Pequeno, lit. Small Field is the Bullring of Lisbon, Portugal. It is located in the Campo Pequeno. The Palace of the Marquesas of Fronteira is a Portuguese palace located in Lisbon, Portugal. The palace was built in 1671 as a hunting pavilion to Dom João de Mascarenhas, first Marquess of Fronteira, who received his title from King Afonso VI.
I think that's the bridge out there.
Loyalty to the House of Braganza in the Portuguese Restoration War. The palace is the private residence of the Marquesas of Fronteira. The palace is located in a very quiet area
Makes
near
a lot
the
more
Monsanto
sense.
Forest Park. The house and the garden have glazed tiles representing different themes such as battles or monkeys playing trumpets. The Room of the Battles has panels representing scenes of the Portuguese Restoration War. They depict the Battle of Montijo, Battle of Aronchiche, Siege of Badajoz, Battle of the Lines of Elvas. The Marquis of Pombal Square is an important roundabout in the city of Lisbon, Portugal. It is located between the Avenida de Liberdade and the Eduardo VII Park in the former parish of Coração de Jesus and in the Quarter. Lisbon is the capital and the largest city of Portugal, with an estimated population of 508,368. Lisbon's urban area extends beyond the city's administrative limits with a population of around 2.0 million people. About 2.8 million people live in the Lisbon metropolitan area, which represents approximately 27% of the country's population. It is mainland Europe's westernmost capital city and the only one along the Atlantic coast. Lisbon lies in the western Iberian Peninsula on the Atlantic Ocean and the River Tagus. The westernmost portions of its metro area, the Portuguese Riviera, form the westernmost point of continental Europe, culminating at Cabo de Roca. Lisbon is recognized as an alpha-level global city because of its importance in finance, commerce, media, entertainment, arts, international trade, education and tourism. It is one of the major economic centers on the continent, with a growing financial sector and one of the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, also known as the Great Lisbon Earthquake, impacted Portugal. The 25 de Abril Bridge is a suspension bridge connecting the city of Lisbon, capital of Portugal. The Museum of Art, Architecture and Technology is a museum in Lisbon, Portugal. MART is a cultural project. Belay Tower, officially the Tower of St. Vincent, is a 16th-century fortification located in Lisbon that served as a point of embarkation and disembarkation for Portuguese. Lisbon Harbour Control Tower is a 38-metre-tall control tower at the end of an artificial peninsula. The Roman Villa of Outeiro de Palima is a Roman villa in the civil parish of São Domingos de Rana, in the Portuguese municipality. The Palace of Caluche is an 18th-century palace located at Caluche, a city of the Sintra municipality, in the Lisbon district, on the Portuguese Riviera. One of the last great Rococo buildings to be designed in Europe, the palace was conceived as a summer retreat for Dom Pedro of Braganza, later to become husband and then king consort to his own niece, Queen Maria I. It served as a discreet place of incarceration for Queen Maria as her descent into madness continued in the years following Dom Pedro's death in 1786. Following the destruction by fire of the Ajuda Palace in 1794, Caluche Palace became the official residence of the Portuguese Prince Regent John VI, and his family and remained so until the royal family fled to the Portuguese colony of Brazil in 1807 following the French invasion of Portugal. Work on the palace began in 1747 under Portuguese architect Mateus Vicente de Oliveira. Despite being far smaller, the palace is often referred to as the Portuguese Versailles. From 1826, the palace slowly fell from favor with the Portuguese sovereigns. In 1908, it became the property of the state. Following a serious fire in 1934, which gutted one-third of the interior, the palace was extensively restored, and today is open to the public as a major tourist attraction. One wing of the palace, the Queen Maria I Pavilion, built by Manuel Caetano de Sousa, is currently used as Portugal's official state guest house, allocated to foreign heads of state.
Well, I pre-downloaded the maps. It's just my graphics card. It just, when it comes to all the fine detail on certain things, it just can't. But wow. And then the art museum was over here somewhere. Couldn't really see that roundabout.
São Jorge Castle is a historic castle in the Portuguese capital of Lisbon, located in the freguesia of Santa Maria Maior. Human occupation of the castle hill dates to at least the 8th century BC, while the first fortifications built date from the 1st century BC. The hill on which São Jorge Castle stands has played an important part in the history of Lisbon, having served as the location of fortifications occupied successively by Phoenicians, Carthaginians, Romans, and Moors, before its conquest by the Portuguese in the 1147 siege of Lisbon. Since the 12th century, the castle has variously served as a royal palace, a military barracks, home of the Torre do Tombo National Archive, and now as a national monument and museum. The 1755 Lisbon earthquake, also known as the Great Lisbon Earthquake, impacted Portugal, the Iberian Peninsula, and northwest Africa on the morning of Saturday the 1st of November, Feast of All Saints, at around 9:40 local time. In combination with subsequent fires and a tsunami, the earthquake almost totally destroyed Lisbon and adjoining areas. Seismologists today estimate the Lisbon earthquake had a magnitude of at least 8.4 on the moment magnitude scale, with its epicenter in the Atlantic Ocean about 200 kilometers west-southwest of Cape St. Vincent and about 290 kilometers southwest of Lisbon. Chronologically, it was the third known large-scale
That looks like the art
earthquake to hit
museum.
the city. Estimates place the death toll in Lisbon alone at between 30,000 and 50,000 people, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes in history. The earthquake accentuated political tensions in Portugal and profoundly disrupted the country's colonial ambitions. The event was widely discussed and dwelt upon by European Enlightenment philosophers, and inspired major developments in theodicy. As the first earthquake studied scientifically for its effects over a large area, it led to the birth of modern seismology and earthquake engineering.
I don't understand why it's just giving us points of interest, but it doesn't give you a description. All right, let's go up for a look. See what they're talking about.
You're not alone, see.
Thing, or if people in other countries do that too.
So, do you mean that most people there do that?
Yeah, most people here, when you get off the bus, you would normally, even if you're getting off in the back, you would yell to the front to the driver. You'd say thank you.
Oh, okay. I think you wouldn't see that very often here. Yeah. Something more when you want to give an extra thought. Yeah.
By the way, there's Edarin is joining us, flying the Halo Pelican, as always. A little bit further out, I saw Simflight Pro and Tom have both landed. I'm 8 minutes out. I was in the Bonanza, a little bit slower than the 737 and 747 that each of you were flying.
I'll quickly park somewhere and I'll give a tour of Lisbon.
I've got
Lisboa.
Quite the swarm of aircraft all around me, flying in formation.
That's a nice view.
Yeah.
It's really nice when you're all flying next to each other. It's quite epic. Like
One of the
this
things I love
cloud's
about Flying
coming.
Friday.
Founded on the 28th of February 1904
Oh,
as
I
Sport
saw a
Lisboa,
nice,
Benfica is one of the big
airplane
3 clubs in Portugal that have
themed,
never been
fact
relegated
about
from
the
Primeira Liga,
flights.
along with rivals Sporting CP and FC Porto. Benfica are nicknamed as Aguias, for the symbol atop the club's crest, and Os Encarnados, for the shirt colour. Since 2003, their home ground has been the Estádio da Luz, which replaced the larger, original one, built in 1954. Benfica is the most supported Portuguese club and the European club with the highest percentage of supporters in its own country, having over 230,000 members and an estimated 14 million supporters worldwide. The club's anthem, Ser Benfiquista, refers to Benfica supporters, who are called Benfiquistas. E pluribus unum is the club motto, Ogia Vitoria, the mascot.
All right. So it's nice that these that this Friday, this one in particular, this Friday fly-in took us to, I mean, we went all the way around Spain in the last week, and we didn't cut through the middle of it all, and this particular fly-in did just that. So we circled everything, but this one took us right from Madrid right through the heart of Spain and into Portugal.
So is it like they?
It's you pay for the airport just to get it, because they put like extra effort into getting all the details right.
Oh, I think I never flew there. This is how it looks then.
Yeah, this is Lisbon or Lisboa.
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 Ah, you can see the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so you're gonna
that
give us
bridge
some,
looks
drone
familiar.
camera shots of the bridge, Tom?
Yeah,
Is that the?
it
the
will
one?
look familiar
Yeah.
to other or to another famous bridge.
Right, it looked like the Golden
Was
Gate.
this one first, or was it the other one that was first?
The Golden?
But it's the same designer, right?
Yeah. I think this is the second one, but let me check. Here are my facts.
Fact list.
Check out this stop.
Jane facts.
I just started my descent, and I got a really cool view of all the other planes now that were flying behind.
Come on, get me back into the
Oh,
cockpit.
nice.
They also now just realize, oh, we need to descend.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
My God.
Yes.
Yo.
Lisbon is in sight up ahead. I'm pulling into the gate now.
Yes. Like a real professional, right, from the exterior camera. It's not
Demonic
blind.
Dragon says, Tom, you stole his gate.
Control J, that doesn't work here. Ground services. Normally I have GSX, but I disabled it. Alright. That's
Touchy,
3
touchy.
minutes out from landing, Tom, so
Touchy,
Uh-oh.
touchy.
scary.
quick. Yep.
I still can't find if this is the one, but I think it will be afterwards. This bridge.
Did you see when it was built and when the other one was built?
Yeah, that's a quick way. That's a quicker way than reading the text.
Huh, are we in Lisbon or are we in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I'm confused now.
I'm getting there. Yeah, so the one in Lisbon was built exactly 33 years after the one in San Francisco. And it's also, I think they chose the location because of the Christ King, which is also a sort of copy
Of
from the one in
Rio.
Brazil, right?
Yeah.
That's also funny. Well, we do have the Torre de Belém, the Belém Tower, which is not a copy, so hopefully that's good. But yeah, it's kind of funny that these two are together.
What's the name? Ponto.
Ponte with a E. My God, now I spell in Dutch. But the more language you speak, the more it becomes a mesh in your brain. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Ponte 25 de Abril, 25th of April, which is our like the end of dictatorship or freedom day, which is almost happening. Notice in like 6 days.
Next week.
Yeah.
So when we leave here next week.
You will leave from here.
Yes.
Yep.
So voila, that's a good celebration.
Yeah, that's right. So next week
Yeah.
we'll depart from Lisbon and we'll make our way via Gibraltar to Morocco.
So we may
Gibraltar.
not do that one. Maybe.
Gibraltar is nice.
I'm not sure where we're going, but we're going north.
Actually, the airport of Lisbon, it's called Humberto Delgado.
We're in the
and that's
Netherlands
a
at the moment.
military,
Yeah, it doesn't
that
matter. What
was,
the heck?
Involved in helping ending the dictatorship in Portugal. So, yeah. Actually, the bridge, before it was called 25th of April, it was called the name of our dictator.
Oh.
So, I think that's why they changed it too.
This is a hotel. Oh, this looks like the one in
I
Dubai.
was just gonna say, like, this is also familiar. Well, you know, this is maybe the moment to say that Porto and the South, we are always mocking each other. So I could say, of course, Lisbon has a lot of imitations. You know, it's not like in the North.
Yeah, this looks familiar, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's funny because this bridge is from the designer that did also the one in San Francisco, and then you have a bridge in Porto that is from the Eiffel Tower.
Mhm.
So
All right.
Everybody's parked over here.
I'm just on base now, about to turn on the final. Tom, any other Portuguese Lisbon landmarks you'd like to see before we cut over to my landing?
Are there others here?
There's a lot
that
of
bridge is also,
landmarks.
like
The bridge.
known for like the size and everything, but I don't know the story.
It's over to you, CD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Just turning on to final now. All right, on a 3-mile final.
Ooh.
Autopilot is disengaged and I am hand flying.
Hand flying.
It's a nice view with the trees.
It's a bit of a sunset, I think.
Yeah. It's like the golden hour. Perfect timing.
Oh, I got 4 red pappies. That's
Oh,
not good.
is it 4 red? You're dead.
Yeah, red on red, you're dead. White on white, you fly all night. Oh, F's in the chat for Luke, who just lawn darted in front of me. Don't know if anyone saw that.
This is someone in the chat was referring to the expo buildings. I don't remember from which year the expo was, but they built a lot of buildings in an area in Lisbon that is now very modern looking, and we probably passed because it's somewhere here. There, yeah. Who's doing this?
All right.
Jane did it once, and then we made a sound clip of it. Now every time CD lands or any of us lands, we use it because it's imitating a stall horn. It's like the moment where the plane loses lift.
I was really like, is that CD?
Well, it was me hitting a button, but that was originally Jane who recorded that.
That makes the landing way more spectacular.
All right, I'm just going to pull off the runway here.
It didn't seem at all.
Folks, this is the end of stage 13 of our world tour. Welcome to Lisbon, everyone, the capital of Portugal. We'll be back next week for stage 14. As mentioned, it will be Lisbon to Rabat, Morocco via Gibraltar. So it should be a great flight there. Want to thank our special guests for joining us, Rita and Tom.
I wonder if they're on another runway.
Share all your local expert Portuguese knowledge. Rita, Tom, any final words from the two of you before we sign off?
Who knows?
I would like to say thank you. It's always a good company. Hope I always get very excited talking, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I wanted to say in Portuguese, bem-vindos a Lisboa. Welcome to Lisbon.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, very, very nice. All right. So, yeah, welcome to Lisbon to all of us. So we should end. Oh, darn it. My darn dice were up the whole time. I was flying around everything. I am so sorry. So much going on these things, you know. So I'm terribly sorry about that. Let's end with some roleplay. Yesterday, when we landed, we were right next to this hotel where we were going to stay. And so I said, let's use our charisma and try to get ourselves some really discounted rooms, food, and drinks so that we could tip more and seem like really big spenders. And it was a perfect 20 roll. And so what should we do here in Lisbon to end with? They were mentioning a lot of their food. Some lady was talking about some sort of pastry thing with peanuts and honey and the bread folded over, and it's dry, but it's not dry. And any chance we can find, do you know what that lady's talking about? We'll find somebody, see if we can find somebody that'll give us that thing. And we roll an 8, so we're unsuccessful. We'll try again. It's a big town. There's a 10, at least a DC 10, so maybe a sort of good one, you know. There's a 21. Okay, we found a better one. I don't think we're going to do better than that. Let's go to another shop. Oh, yeah. Oh, theirs were horrible compared to the last one we just had. That last one was just so good. Oh, that place down the street, they're the best so far. Can't be beat. Yeah, these guys aren't so bad. These guys are really good. And still, not as good as the other guys, but... And at this point, we're just full. That's our Anthony Bourdain hunting. Oh, we ran into something that's a 20? I guess we weren't that full. Okay. So that concludes our show for the day. Sorry for the glitches on behalf of whatever, the internet, or I don't know what. I don't know. So, pick it up Monday. I have a lot of editing to do this weekend. I have a lot of everything to do this weekend. I'm sure you do too. So, 6 days, and looking down the road, going into next week, we're in the Netherlands, and we're going from there. I don't know. We're going to keep going north and then probably cut over into the UK and Ireland, Scotland, all that. So that's what I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll play it by ear on Monday. I'll have it all worked out by then. And in 6 days, Manor Lord comes out. So I'm going to be picking that up and probably starting that in the evening. I have to still finish Baldur's Gate. And I would have been done with all of that had it not for these edits and things I have to do to make sure I can keep doing this on YouTube. There's been some policy errors that I've made, and I'm working really hard to correct everything to stay in YouTube's good graces so I can keep doing this. So yeah, that's looking into next week. More of this, and then so by next Monday probably, Manor Lords. Already thinking of different ways to start. I've been watching people start and watching their gameplay. I'm like, I wonder if I could do this. I wonder if I could do that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And basically, Rome Total War. I think that one's a win. All three conditions are pretty much met. So my biggest achievement yet. Almost winning all three winning conditions. And the reason why I couldn't win the other objectives and win all three is because one of the conditions is that you're trading with like over 15 countries at the end. Well, 15 kingdoms. But by the time the game where I'm at, 15 kingdoms don't exist anymore. So I can't meet that gaming requirement to win, but we've already won the conquest version, the military win. Culturally, it's a matter of time. You know, I've conquered everybody. Everybody's my friend. I can keep everybody happy. And so we'll see on that one. I might just do an update on that one. And again, Baldur's Gate 3. So close to the end. There's still so much to do, but so close. We're in Act 3. I'm really close to being done with it. But again, it's so big. So she said, it's so big. Okay, so I will see you Monday. You have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. This is Kinneas.